Hey everybody, Brandon Clifford here, Global Franchise Solutions, franchise consulting firm based out of Southern New Hampshire. What we do essentially is play matchmaker, connecting individuals with great franchise opportunities. And today we've got a little bit of a different topic to talk about, because sometimes people, when they're looking for a business, a startup doesn't always make sense, and they prefer something with existing revenue, where they can maybe jump into a business at year 3, 4, 5, and then take it to the next level. And then it's time to start considering a franchise resale. So today I brought in a good friend of mine, one of my colleagues who I work very closely with, who's an expert in resales, and she's actually a franchisee herself too. So woo, yeah, great. She's a franchise owner and knows it very well. Proud owner of Transworld Business Advisors, North Shore, Massachusetts. Her name's Jennifer Fox. Hey Jen, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Brandon, today?
Doing awesome. Excited to have you here. Talk about franchise resales or business resales in general. And to get into it real quickly before we get started, just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and, how you got started, how you found the franchise, how you got started with Transworld.
Well, Brandon, I came from a financial and analytical background. I worked in the investment management world for over 10 years. My most recent position was in marketing, working with new business opportunities and product development. And then how did I get into Transworld? Transworld was going to be my husband's venture. Transworld is a franchise that focuses on working with visionary individuals on an acquisition of a business and working with business owners on a sale of a business. My husband and I are franchisees of Transworld in the North Shore, right over north of Boston. Like I said, this was originally going to be his venture, but it turns out I couldn't let him have all the fun. So with any business, you need a sales side and an operations side. My husband did a great job with the sales side, working with brokers, but not so much on the operations side. It was make it or break it time. So it was a turning point. We were thinking about hiring someone else, what the next steps were. When we decided, should I leave my job? I love my job working at the investment management firm in Boston. The one thing about my job, I didn't like my commute. I didn't like the flexibility. I had small children. We decided, let's give it a shot. Let's try working together. Left my job. Love it now. What I do at Transworld is I oversee strategic direction, marketing, business development. I absolutely love working with people like myself, helping them find what's next, working with good business owners, and it's been a great.
Good run so far. Yeah, no, and that's a good story because you guys have been there. You started a business from scratch, with a business where you are now. I mean, you obviously had the template, the help from the franchisor, and, that's one of the reasons why you invested in a franchise. But you've started it from the ground floor, and that's not the right fit for everyone. I work with people all the time looking at new startups, but a lot of people like existing businesses. So in your opinion, what would you say is the biggest advantage of purchasing an existing business or as a resale instead of starting one from scratch?
Well, I can say some of the best things about purchasing existing business is you have service, products, customers. They're already in place and established. You're purchasing a business that there's a proven history, reputation. You're established in a community. You have a team in place. You have employees. You also have distribution channels that are already established. You have current existing relationships, vendors. You have marketing channels. You should have a website. You have a build out. The previous business owner already did the work for you. Also, depending on the business model that you have, you might have a customer list or members in place, but as the new business owner, it's your job to continue the work, and you must continue to make sure you retain the owners or retain the members and figure out new ways to grow. So on the flip side, if you're going to do this for the ground up, you have to figure out what you're going to do. Extensive research is needed. Whatever business you're doing, it's unproven. There's no name recognition. You need to identify an under-to-serve market. You need to make sure you're able to serve them better or differently. Again, this concept is unknown and unproven. The other thing I want to note is there's no cost structure in place. If you're buying an existing business, you'll be reviewing all the financials that you have. You have to figure out the cost structure, the capital that's needed. And with that being said, financing is a lot harder when you have a startup. With an existing business, you can get a government funded loan, SBA, a lot easier. With a startup, you cannot.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. All valid points, absolutely. But you kind of touched upon it a little bit. People use that term turnkey business. It kind of drives me crazy because the new business owner does still need to put in a lot of work to continue those relationships with vendors and customers, et cetera. And also, even if a business is well established, there's still no guarantee that the next owner is going to be able to continue the same successes, and sometimes there are some negatives or some baggage, that might come along with an existing business. So what would you say are some negatives or maybe some things that someone should look out for when they're buying an existing business?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that you want to make sure is you always want to make sure that you have room to grow when buying an existing business. You want to make sure that it's not at capacity, it hasn't peaked, because you want to make sure that you can have continued growth, continued success. Another thing we like to look out for is the lease. How much time is left on the lease? Will the landlord renew? What's the renewal rate? The terms. These are also important items you must be aware of when getting an SBA loan. The term of the lease must match the term of your loan. And the other thing you also want to be aware of is like how much capital investment you're going to need, not just the sale of the business. So you're looking at the business. Does it need a whole new facelift? Is it orange? Are there items you want to change? What does the flooring look like? If you're buying a franchise resale, are they going to be going through a whole new rebranding? Is there new money you're going to need to put into? Those are all some things you need to be aware of when buying the existing business.
Yeah, absolutely. And the room to grow is a huge one, I think. And that's one of the advantages of a startup, in my opinion, is you can obviously start a franchise, say for 100, 200,000, that maybe if you were buying it at year 8 as a resale, it might cost you 800, 900,000. And then are you going to be able to resell that for 1.5 million? Probably not, so would you rather start one for 100 and then build it and sell it for 900 in 9 years, or buy that $900,000 one today? That's, quicker return, but less of a long-term play. So it really depends on the fit and what the person's looking to accomplish. So what's some advice that you would give someone who's just kind of beginning their research, thinking about a business for sale, to buy a business for sale?
Well, this is probably the same advice I'd probably give a buyer and a seller who are first-time buyers or sellers. Be realistic in your expectations. You're not buying or selling a Fortune 500 business. Mm-hmm. So be realistic. That's the first thing. Mm-hmm. And also trust your broker. They put a lot of work into putting together a package, going through your financials, putting a value on your business, going through QuickBooks, looking over the financials. So really trust that they know what they're doing and have done their job. And then the second thing I would say to a first-time buyer is be honest with your goals. What is it that you're looking for? What is most important to you? Is it cash flow, location, or industry? Because a lot of times I'm talking to buyers and they say, oh, I don't know, just find me a good business. Mm-hmm. But what is it that is most important to you? So do you need to make $100,000 in cash flow is that what's important to you to sustain?
Or is a good business being able to work remotely or being able to pick your kids up from the bus every single day? So what is a good business to you?
Or does it have a restaurant? I would never buy a restaurant. Oh, but the restaurant's netting $150,000. I would. So you have to understand what it is you're looking for, because if you don't know, you're never going to find a business, and you're just going to keep looking and looking at different opportunities. So first, really be honest with your goals and your expectations, because before you can do that, we can't really help you.
Excellent. And now I know you already touched upon a couple of them there. Any more words of advice for people, business owners who are thinking about selling?
Yes. Number one, most important, and I said this, I think, before, keep good books and records. That is the absolute number one thing. It's what every buyer wants to see. It's the easiest thing that you can do. Like, today's computer technologies are so accurate. There's no reason why you can't have good books and records. Number two, grow your earnings before you sell. You want to see upward trends. Do you want to see downward trends? No. That's not something that we can really tell as good a story with. A buyer wants to see upward trends. Also, number three, proper management in place and staff. That's something can you go on vacation for a week or two? Will your business run? Get the family out of the business. Don't have your wife as a manager. Your business isn't worth as much if that's the case. And most important, and this is probably besides your books and records, increase the bottom line. Your business will be worth more. I don't care what you're doing, who you're paying, or if you have a restaurant and you take cash now and then, show it for the last 6 months before you sell. Your business will be worth more.
Absolutely. Even if it means waiting 6 months, I think that's great advice. Cool. So, all right, Jen, so let's say I'm a business owner in the North Shore of Massachusetts, or anywhere in New England, even potentially, that's looking to sell, or I am a buyer who maybe instead of looking for a startup wants to find a resale. How can I reach you? Let us know how we can learn more.
Well, you can go to our website. It's Tworld, MA for Massachusetts.com, and you can contact us directly there. If you go on to the team page, you can click on my email, my phone numbers there, contact us directly.
Awesome. So I encourage you guys all to reach out to Jen, and of course you can reach me on my website, globalfranchisesolutions.com, or feel free to shoot me a text or give me a phone call, 978-891-7145. Well, all right, Jen, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you.